So this is my COODY KOALA 7 air tent. We recently did a test with the stove in this air tent down to temperatures of 18 degrees. That's the Campgrounds M hot stove from RBM Outdoors. That's the same place I got this tent. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I highly recommend this tent and that stove. The stove keeps it toasty warm in there, and I love the aesthetic of watching the fire and smelling it. But when it's time to go to bed, it's difficult to keep that fire burning all night. You have to get up a couple times and stoke it, put some more wood on. So this site that I'm staying at right now actually has electric. There's an outlet right on the pole here. I've got the line running straight in the back of the tent, and I've been using that to power my TV, my internet, recharge things like my laptop, my lights, my phone. But with the benefit of having electricity at this site, today I want to test out an electric space heater. You can see that it is 30 degrees out here right now. We're going to bring this in the tent and just set it right here. Now you can see my stove is not burning right now. I actually still have chili on here that I want to heat up because I'm getting hungry. But I picked up this electric space heater today, 1500 watts. It's supposed to heat up to a 300 square foot area. I just tested this in the hexagon tent, 150 square feet. This tent is 185 square feet. The hexagon tent is a 3-layer tent meant to be used in very cold weather. This tent is made of canvas. It's meant to be used in temperatures down to about 35. But as I said, I used the stove in here the other night and it was down to 18 degrees and it kept it toasty. I mean, like in the 70s in here. We've even got some ice up here on the top. But the point is, it's canvas. It's a breathable material, so it doesn't hold the heat as well as the 3-layer tent. Due to that fact, I have the plastic panel on the front here. It's clear plastic. You can open up the one outside and just kind of look out there if you want to watch the snow or the rain or anything. These windows up here are plastic, and likewise I have plastic panels in all 4 windows going around the edges. So with the exception of the rain fly, I've taken every measure to keep the heat in here the best that I can. The rain fly does not have a stove jack like this right here, but putting the rain fly on would be another option to keep the heat in. We're going to test this out today as is. So I set it up over here on this table. It's stable. If it tips over, it does have a feature where it will automatically shut off. But let's go ahead and hit the power button here. Get this going. You saw that it was 30 degrees outside. Let's go ahead and turn this up to 75 for now. And we'll just let this run for a little bit and see how well it warms it up in here. And see if that would be a good alternative as opposed to trying to keep the fire stoked up all night long. So after about 20 minutes, we are up to 41 in here so far. Okay, about to go back in and see how that fared. I've just been over there setting up the Panda. The Panda Large. I'm going to do some tests in that one as well. But let's go ahead in here. Wow, it is nice and warm in here. Now that's compared to being outside in 29 degrees, but it is 44 degrees in this area right over here. So the reason I left it over here was so that it wasn't right on top of the heater over there, but that was on a cold table here right next to the wall. So as I'm standing in here, it is pretty warm actually. So when I say it's pretty warm, it's much warmer than it is outside. It's 29 degrees outside. I've been in here for probably about a half an hour. I took some Excedrin and I was just laying around on the bed here for a little while, waiting to see if it would warm up anymore. And even with our thermostat sitting here, it's still is only up to 49. I did turn this up to 90. That doesn't really matter if it can't even hit 75 in here, because all that is the thermostat. That just means it's going to turn off when it hits that temperature. I just thought maybe it would push a little harder if I had it set up at 90. But like I said, it did get it up to 49 in here, almost 50. And truthfully, if it's 50 outside, I'm running around in shorts. The problem with it being 50 in here is that the only heat coming from this heater over here is blowing out a little ways, and that's pretty much it. It kind of spreads out, but you can feel a lot of cold air moving around in here. So is this a solution to keeping it warm at night in this particular tent? The COODY KOALA 7, it is 12 by 16. This is a big area to expect that to heat, and this is just breathable canvas. If you had to make it work, sure. Because you're thinking about nighttime, you're going to be bundled up in the covers here. I think it is definitely doable, but to actually keep it warm in here at night, not really. You could take some other measures to make it work even better, like your stove right here, the pipe goes up and leaves this gap right here. So you really could take this apart. However, if you're using this to take over for the stove when you're ready to go to bed, that's going to be hot. You're not going to be grabbing it and taking it apart, laying it anywhere else. It's dirty inside these, so that's not really something you could do. There is a partition that comes with this tent. You can see there's the zipper around the edges here, and that zips in an entire wall there. So you could definitely do that. You could put in that other wall. That would cordon off the bedroom, the sleeping area, and maybe that would heat it up to 53, 54. But you still have a lot of cold air moving, and I think where that's coming from is this back window here, because this is not a plastic window. Underneath this, it's just mesh and canvas. So if you came up with a way to maybe hang a big blanket over that wall there to block out even more of that air, I'm sure that would help tremendously. So my final opinion on this right here in this giant tent, no, at least not as is. It's just too big of a tent, too big of an area for this little thing to warm up. And thinking about the way that I want to camp, I want to enjoy my camping more. I don't want to be messing around with trying to put up this partition in the middle and hanging blankets and all that stuff. I think it would definitely be excellent for a smaller tent, but not this gigantic one as it is.